So there are reportedly new talks about the NHL potentially increasing the amount of its teams that make the postseason each time around. And again, reportedly, all of this conversation is being generated by a group of owners who really want it to happen. As it stands right now, 16 of the 31 NHL clubs qualify for each second season. You do the quick math and you realize it's statistically more than 50%. But I'm here to say that it does not do any good for the league, the fans, or the game in general to allow more teams to qualify for the NHL playoffs. And I'll give you 4 reasons why. Number 1, you'd be cheapening the expression of being a, quote, playoff team. I mean, sure, that might help sell tickets. It might generate more interest in a club that didn't have recent success, and then all of a sudden they can proclaim themselves as a group which makes the NHL postseason. But fans are smarter than that. It's a misleading claim, and eventually, like I said, people are going to catch on that the team didn't improve, opportunity improved for them. Also, think about this. Pre-existing good teams that actually had bad seasons and still found a way to qualify for the playoffs. Again, I go back to my main point here. Fans can see right through that. I also feel like you would be cheapening the regular season. In thinking about an 82-game regular season schedule, the NHL already has a difficult enough time making it interesting to some fan bases across the league. There are some groups that come right out of training camp with a pretty good idea that, barring any huge disaster, they're going to already be in the NHL's postseason. So now that you have increased their odds by allowing more teams into the dance, how does that exactly make the drama of the regular season any greater? In fact, I think it takes away from it. Number 3 here on my list is now essentially having 5 rounds to win a Stanley Cup final is way too much. And I know maybe it's going to be a play-in game. For example, the 7 seed would play the 10 seed in each conference, and the 8 would play the 9 seed. But you are adding an extra round, even if it is just a single game against the opponent. I mean, in bumping this up, think about it. 20 of 31 NHL teams would make the playoffs. And I understand those play-in games, kind of how the wild card happens in baseball, or really everything happens in football. It does add immediate suspense because the loser goes home. But if you've ever watched, played in, or covered like I have an NHL postseason series, you understand the drama and what makes it so special as storylines develop with 2 teams going at it head-to-head, game after game after game. So again, the 5-round thing or potentially the play-in game thing just don't really do it for me. Last but certainly not least is something to think about here. How will outsiders of hockey view the NHL expanding it to potentially 20 of 31 teams making the postseason each time around? Because I truly believe that non-hockey fans already think that 16 of 31 is way too many to make it. And you look at baseball, for example, it starts out with 10, 5 from each league, but that quickly goes down to a grand total of 8. So you're essentially starting series with 8 teams instead of 16 like the NHL already does. And I understand, look, it's not fun for a fan base to have an 82-game regular season schedule where they played well, they accomplished a lot of things, and they might have missed out on the postseason by a single point or a tie with somebody else and they had less regulation and overtime wins. It does come down to very narrow margins sometimes, but that is the privilege of the playoffs. That's the exclusivity of it, which I don't think should be tarnished. Hey, let me know what you think about potential expansion of the NHL playoffs. Leave your comments below.